Well, this is lesson 12, and as we said with lesson at the end of lesson 11, we're going to um, do some basics, basic conversation, and after that, we are going to look in detail at an expression "c'est pour," "c'est pour." Three different situations, ways we can use "c'est pour" in the Haitian Creole language. On the board here, we have just the days of the week, morning, afternoon, evening, night, week, month, year. So we need those. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche, matin, matin, après-midi, aswea, la nuit, semaine, mois, année. Same thing. When it comes, we need those in our vocabulary. It's a must-have. So ordinal and cardinal numbers, for instance, first, second, third, fourth, etc. Premier, deuxième, troisième, quatrième, cinquième, sixième, septième, huitième, neuvième, dixième, onzième, douzième. So we have to become familiar with those. It's part of the conversation. Let's look at a couple of things. The first thing, when we meet somebody, you will hear sac passé. Sac passé, garçon. Okay. So, what does it mean? It means what's going on, man. Literally, what is going on, man. So this is an option. Well, in fact, ça comes from kisa, what. Que is the contraction for qui, and passé. So qui ça qui passé, and it becomes ça passé. Okay? Sac passé, sac passé garçon, sac passé dans loge maçon, sac passé. Ok, très bien. Kunia, what are the answers? Well, map débat. Map, so progressive form, verb, subject, progressive form, verb. Débat means, well, I'm fighting, I'm there, I'm okay. Map, lité, ac, la via. I'm fighting with life, I'm struggling with life. That's what it means. But we have different answers. We can say also na boule. Na boule. I'm doing good. Na boule. I'm doing good with others. Boule is the idea of interacting with others. Na boule. I'm fine. I'm fine. And we know those moins en forme. En forme, in fact, can apply to a person or to a car. Is your car running good? Machine en forme. My car is running well, only en forme. So it can apply to a person or a thing, an object. Okay, so that's sac passé. Now, the other one is qui Jean Relais. And we saw that. Remember, qui Jean, ou. So remember, we use ou. This is ou, right? And this is the contraction form, W, ou. So qui Jean Relais. And you will say, moi, Relais, Jacques. Moi, Relais, Jacques. But we saw that also, relay, it's not only when you want to tell your name, it's also when you can call somebody. So you can say, oh, te relay ou? That's the past. I called you on the phone. I called you, okay? Or the future. So this is the non moins pral releu. I will call you, but you know, you will hear ma releu. So this is, you remember the future, we'll go deeper into the tenses, but we have pral, we have va, and a is the contraction. So when it's vague in the future, we don't know when. Well, ma releu. You don't know when, you have no idea, but it will call you. Very good. So moi pral releu, ma releu. Also in the conversation, you can say moins pap car vini demain. So what is that? Contraction. Again, moins papral. We are accurate here. It's not vague. It's not va. It's we know that it will be tomorrow. So this is certain. That's tomorrow. We are talking about the day after. So now it's pral because of that. So pral, and now the contraction form is pap. Pap equals papral. So moi pap cavini demain. I will not be able to come tomorrow. And now the question. Pour qui ça? Pour qui ça ou pap ca vini demain? Very good. Pour qui ça ou pap ca vini demain? Well, so you can say moi doué travail, ou soit moi dois finir travail dans la caille, moi. Okay, so we are going to talk about that. So I have to work. I have to finish some work in my house, right? Fini quelque travail. You see how we can elaborate. So, dove fini travail dans la caille, moi. Dove fini quelque travail dans la caille, moi. So, dove, we are going to talk about that. That's a way to say it where there is an obligation, but we can use c'est pour, and we are going to talk about that in a minute. Let me clean the board. Okay, and we are still in. So, what are you going to do in your house? Well, besoin, I need, besoin, décider. Qui ça? Or ça. Remember, qui ça is more when you ask a question. That's what. And when you use what within a sentence, you can use qui ça, but most of the time now, that will be ça. But ça is that. But in that case, that's what. You can remove the qui, but you can say also qui ça. It's an option. So, qui ça t'as doué fait? So what do we have here? Moi, besoin décider. I need to decide. I need to decide what I should do. T'as doué fait. What I should do. And should, and there is the idea of You know what is what I must do, what I have to do. Okay. So that's one thing. Also, li te mandez-moi vini si tellement bonnet pour nous qu'a fini travail la jodia. You see, we are using we always respect the structure, basic subject, verb, object, but we make it bigger. We build upon the basic structure. So, li te mandez-moi, he asked me, li te, so subject, verb, object, and now within the object we have a complement. Vini si tellement bonne, so he asked me to come, right? Vini is to come. Si tellement is that early, bonne is early. That early, pour nous, so this is literally for us, so that we can finish travail là, so it's not the verb, it's the noun, travail. So that's treated Y as a consonant, so the article is là, travail la jodia, so that we can finish the work, the job today. He asked me to come si tellement, that early, so that we can finish the work today. Or si tellement, it's that early or so early. You see the idea, early. We emphasize the fact that it was really early, something like 4 a.m. or something like that. Okay, so we can build upon this sentence. Now we are going to look at this expression here. C'est pour. So let me click that. When we have c'est pour, well, this is to be verb, right? We have 3 different ways to use this. So when we see c'est pour, we have 3 different possibilities. First of all, it's literal. Literal, that means that the meaning is it is for. And you see, in that case, it would be ça c'est pour. But most of the time, ça c'est pour, ça c'est une chaise. It is a chair. Ça c'est une chaise. Ça c'est un tableau. Ça c'est un tableau. Most of the time, they remove ça and they say c'est un tableau. So you can say ça c'est un tableau, and most of the time they will tell you, well, c'est un tableau. C'est un crayon. C'est une chaise. C'est une lampe. C'est un bio. C'est un papier, etc. So you see, ça c'est pour. That's the meaning. The literal meaning of c'est pour is ça c'est pour. But this one is an option, and most of the time they remove it. It is for. For instance, as it's written here, we can say, well, cadeau ça, or cadeau ça, c'est pour. And what does it mean? Well, this gift is for you. This present is for you, right? And then you can say, the person replies, c'est pour moi. C'est pour moi, you see, c'est pour. Is it for me? It's for me. And then, oui, c'est pour. Yes, it's for you. So, you see, it's literal meaning. It is for. It is for. C'est pour. Or we can say no. C'est pas. Pour. So, negative between the verb and for. It is not for you. So, this is the first option. Now, the second one, we are going to talk about a duty, an obligation, responsibility. And, you know, this is similar to doit, must. For instance, c'est pour nous à dire la vérité. What does it mean? Well, we should tell him the truth. It's a bit complicated because we are adding the conditional tense here. Let's go back to something simple. For instance, a mother tells her child, c'est pour ou étudier chaque jour. Elle qui a dit, c'est pour ou étudier chaque jour. Attendez. Listen. You get it? C'est pour ou étudier chaque jour. So we have the c'est pour plus, and now we have ou étudier chaque jour. So we have the subject, the verb, and the object. And before that, you put c'est pour, which means you must study every day. C'est pour ou étudier chaque jour. And we can say, for instance, how do we say we must be watchful? The world is dangerous. We must be watchful. C'est pour nous, and that was the name of a brochure. C'est pour nous, veillatif. Beautiful word. C'est pour nous veillatif. We must be watchful. Parce que mon nom lit dangereux. So, c'est pour nous veillatif. There was another one, beautiful one, with a sentence in a latest article of the Watchtower. It said, c'est pour nous. Prends détermination. Pour profiter tout cadeau. On dit bon nouillot. Look at that. Okay. So, look the way it's built. So we have the c'est pour at the very front, at the very beginning of the sentence. And then we have the regular sentence. So we have the subject here. Nous prend détermination. So we take determination, which means we are determined. And another one, for us, for pour, so that makes the link with another structure. So nous prend détermination, nous prend sang. Nous prend sang, c'est-à-dire we have the will and the determination for us to take advantage of all the presents that God gives us. So look, again, so we have this preposition here. First block, nous prend détermination. we have this preposition in between, the link, that makes the link with another structure. Subject, verb, and object. Nous profiter, so pour nous profiter, tout cadeau, all the gifts. Bon Dieu, bon nous. And you see, the article is not tout cadeau yo, bon Dieu, bon nous. It's tout cadeau, and then we describe this, the gift. So, bon Dieu, bon nous, and you put the article at the end. Remember the rules. Once you have the definite article, it always goes after the noun. Right? Noun, the article, but when you start to describe, to add to that noun with the description that Jehovah God gives us, then the article, once you're done with the description, you put the article at the end and it goes with the last letter here. So that's the funny thing. Once we are used to it, it goes fine. So c'est pour nous, prend détermination pour nous profiter tout cadeau, bon Dieu, bon nous. You see, that's an obligation, duty, responsibility. That's the idea. It's similar to doué. Because we can say, instead of c'est pour, nous doué, prend, but there is a nuance. There is a nuance. So we must, but here we have, not only we must, but we have the idea of responsibility. So we are responsible. C'est pour nous. C'est pour nous. It's on our shoulders. Okay, very good. So let's move on. Now, still talking about c'est pour. Look at that, a blessing, a curse, wishful thinking. You will hear that a lot. Imagine when you go from door to door. Sometimes they will tell you at the end of the conversation, c'est pour bon Dieu béni. C'est pour bon Dieu béni. Okay? So it's a blessing, a benediction. So, but it can be a curse as well. But when it comes to a benediction, we can say also to young people, well, c'est pour mariage ou béni. Okay? It means may your marriage be blessed. You see the idea? So c'est pour et mariage ou béni. So the structure is different because with the other one, the second one, we have c'est pour in front of a regular structure. Here it's a bit different. C'est pour bon Dieu béni. So c'est pour malais tombé sous lit. C'est pour mariage ou béni. So it's a bit similar. We have the verb, we have the subject, but we can make the difference between the obligation, the responsibility, the duty, and that one. So, a curse, c'est pour malais tomber sous. We don't want to say that, of course. Tomber sous lit. C'est pour malais tomber sous lit. So, that will mean that really bad things will fall on you. How could we say that properly in English? I don't know, but may grief fall upon him, or may he be cursed. Yeah, maybe that's the right one. May he be cursed. Or you see somebody working, you don't like the person, and maybe the children say that, and you say, well, c'est pour lui tomber. C'est pour lui tomber. Huh. You know, I hope he falls down. I hope he falls down. Exactly. Or, look at that. Messier Messieurs pas bon. Ok? Messieurs pas bon. C'est pour Madame Lee quitter. What does it mean? Well, this guy, Monsieur Sarah, this guy is not good. No good at all. Well, I hope his wife leaves him. So you see the curse, the bad thing, or the blessing, and we use the sepu. So we have three cases, literal meaning. The duty, the obligation, similar to do it, and the blessing or the curse, the wishful thinking. But our problem is that we have to recognize, to identify when we see sepu, okay, in which situation am I? What are we going to talk? What does it say? What is the meaning? But very quickly we can get it. Another thing that we saw, we talked about Gendwa. I cannot find my notes, but that's something we talked about Guintan and Gendwa. And with Gendwa, we said that the literal meaning is to have the right to be entitled, right? Moins gain doit penser yon bagay, moins gain doit, etc. You will see that word in the constitution, the laws, etc. Look, sometimes we see gain doit at the very beginning of the sentence. Gain doit, c'est à cause, etc. Gain doit, c'est messier qui te fait yon bagay, etc. In that case, here, it's maybe. At the very beginning of the sentence, with the to be verb behind, maybe it is, maybe that's why, maybe, etc. Then you give the reason. Gain doit, maybe, perhaps. That's what it is. Okay, we are going to stop there. With lesson 13, we are going to do something very interesting. All these things, would, could, should, would have, and could have. So we are going to review that. That will help us because it's maybe confusing. Well, thank you.